The baddest DJ this side of town. Mixing the heat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
DJ Disspare.
What up, what up, what up? We got TRILL in the building. What's good, family?
Well, y'all already know what's going on, man. Appreciate you having me on here, brother.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure and an honor, man. I'm really happy to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us about yourself.
Well, man, I'm from a small city called D-Land, Florida, about 30 minutes north of Orlando and about 30 minutes south of Daytona. I grew up with my dad. He was in the Army. He came home from being in the Army, had me, and then he started being a manager for some of the local acts. Pretty much, long story short, I was raised between the church and music. You know what I'm saying?
So how did your career start? Like, when did you decide that you wanted to start rapping?
I probably was like, you mean like seriously or in general?
Seriously.
Oh shit! I really,
everybody's got those back to school part things, but like, when did you seriously take it?
I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to say because my dad literally like groomed me to do what I'm doing. So like, really, it was always a thing. He got me my first LLC when I was like 12 or something like that. Yeah. So I always, I always knew that I was going to be, it was Pink Ice Productions. I'll never forget it. But seriously, first time I went to a real studio was 2000. I want to say 2000. My dad had a group called Deep South Players, and we remixed one of the projects that they had. I basically added myself to one of their projects. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty dope. And then I did some shit. My brother made beats. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I signed my first independent deal situation with M2K Records. Shout out to Clutch out of Orlando. So I did that for a couple of years, but that was the first thing. That was the first time I remember being like, all right, I'm really gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Now, did I stay at the same level of seriousness that whole time? Probably not. But I know that was the first time that I really was like, all right, I'm really gonna do this. You know what I mean? I'm really gonna record. I'm really gonna perform. That's what I want to do.
I see you've been heavy in the mixtape game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like, I'm a heavy mixtape junkie myself. I've done thousands. So like, for years and stuff. Like, and I've seen your stuff come across a few times, and you being on a bunch of mixtapes and everything. What started you getting involved with that? Like, what made you want to get involved with DJs and the mixtapes?
Because when I know that DJs are always like A&Rs, you know what I mean? If you wanted to know who the hottest artist in the city was, you would ask the DJ, like, hey, who's the hottest artist in the city, or what song gets this particular area jumping, or this city or this club jumping, and so a DJ would know that. So I always felt that it was imperative to link up with a DJ who had a fan base or had knowledge of what was going on, so we could work together and get to the bag, Man,
so how did that help your career? Like, with the mixtapes and stuff.
It helped build up my network because there's a lot of people, like, when you do mixtapes, you really don't get to interact with everybody that listens to your music, so it's kind of like a third party interaction. But what happens is, over the years, after you keep doing it, people will come to you and be like, man, I remember you was on Black Flag Music mixtape, man, and you, damn, boy, I was like, damn, boy, that was fucking 10, 11 years ago. Shit. Man,
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to bring that up. So, like, I've heard you on that. So that's what I mean. You've been doing it for a minute now. So I salute you 100 on that, because where you at right now, yo, I like, for real, what's up with this track, MJ? Like, I just been dancing to that. I've been doing jumpers to that. Like, I just like, I want to go ball now.
I got a video for it already. I just ain't put it out. Because what happened was I had shot a video for it earlier this year. But the situation had came and it didn't feel right. I move off of energy, light frequency and vibration. You know what I'm saying? So I move off of energy. So it just didn't feel right to put it out yet. So I held on to somebody was trying to call me. Okay. So I held on to it. And so what ended up happening was it came to me that was more of a basketball season type of song. And earlier this year, the basketball season, when I did it and I was ready to put it out, basketball season was about over with. And I was like, I'm just going to hold on to it and just wait until they get back in that season. You know, basketball picked up usually around Christmas time.
No, basketball started pick up right now. I was really happy because I started to see pickup games. People were just talking about basketball today, and I see this, and I was just happy. I was just like, shit, like, damn, because I don't know whether to do a jump shot to it or just like do the swing and then do the jump. I gotta let people hear this because I was wilding out to it.
It's about to go down. This is a DJ Disspare exclusive.
Let's go. Sometimes you gotta break away. Sometimes you gotta fade away. I'm will, so I make a way. Trillion MJ. Sometimes you gotta break away. Sometimes you gotta fade away. I'm will, so I make a way. MJ. Do you really want to start like gas up, move fast, shine car bright? Gear switch lanes, out of poor life. Gear switch up, giving up that core life. Now you drunk off the fame, that's a sore sight. Left turn, it don't go right. Yes sir, it don't flow right. Didn't count up the sacrifices. Next time, gotta check the prices. Look close, see blood where the ice is. Frozen water in the watch, no dining. Got slime on the watch, my timing. I don't watch my watch. When it's time to put in work, I'm hiding. Hit a home run, when I slide. Hit a home run, then I slide.
Like, I really feel your music, and I've seen the growth and what you've done in your music. And you know, over the years, during this time, like COVID, it slowed down a lot of things for a lot of people. And how did it affect you?
You know what's funny about that is that comes up every now and then in interviews. I do a lot of interviews, so and my response is usually different because a lot of people were like, "Oh man, slow, it messed this up, it messed that up." It didn't really mess me up. What it really made me do was, first of all, excuse me, to be clear, right? COVID happened right around the end of March area. You know what I'm saying? Like end of February, beginning of March, right after Kobe passed away. And then a couple of weeks after that, then COVID, and they shut the league down and blah, 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 blah. Right? So, but in January, I had just signed a deal with Universal in January for distribution. I had just signed a situation with Universal. And that was supposed to be, we were booked for Grammy pre-parties, we were booked for BET Experience, we were booked for all these major events. And then COVID happened. And so to me, at first I was like, man, what in the absolute hell? This is crazy. Because, you know, I'm like, man, it's finally my time to really, you know, pipe up. But what it really made me do was introspect. Because I was looking for a lot of solutions and a lot of answers outside of myself. You feel me? And what it really made me do was really reanalyze and take self-inventory of what I had going on, you know, the place where I was at. So what I did was I took that as an opportunity to go back to the basics and to go back, and I took some business classes. I took some marketing classes. I went and really refreshed myself and really just started like, okay, well, this is for a reason. Went back to the basics and really learned some stuff and really learned how to incorporate it into what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Especially the marketing joint. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because I did the same thing. I finally got to sit down and go, okay, I don't have to do no tours, no shows for a
Yep.
bit. I don't have to go hang out with nobody. I gotta go sit in studios all day. Like,
Yep.
okay. And then people sat back and they didn't realize that we actually saved money sitting at home.
Oh yeah.
Because we didn't have to spend that royalty money, that other stuff that we're getting in the back end, the kick end, to go survive and doing the other stuff. Because people don't understand, hours in the studio takes up time. And then going to events and then, travel costs, merch costs, like a lot of things piles up fast and you don't realize how quick you're going when, like, literally when COVID hit, I was just like, holy shit, like, what the hell were we doing? Like,
Exactly.
like, there was a lot of things popping off. There was deals on the table, everything's happened. And I felt that this was a blessing to the real hustlers in the game, like us who've done the mixtape games and all the other stuff, because we were already doing all that monetization. We were already doing all that analytics. We already knew what would be flagged. Because if we took somebody's instrumental and put it on a mixtape site, it got flagged. And people don't know that we were already ahead of the game with that. And watching what, like, I was watching everything on what you're doing, just like your presence, how you like your video presence, how you like even the show presence, the flyer presence, like I see that BMF tours, like all the different things you guys are doing. That is big. And that is like, and now, like, even with the TV show coming out, like, how's that affect with what's going on with you in the tours and everything?
Man, it's actually it's been a blessing and a curse because you can't get one without the other. For one, let's be clear on that. But what it's done is it put a lot of spotlight on us and everybody, which is a good thing, and we tend to capitalize on that because it's an actual, that BMF show is something that's never been done before.
Facts.
There's never been a show about a family, a crime family, quote unquote, but really just a family of individuals who span the United States, and yet it's still going on, and the people and the founders are still alive. And usually they talk about that stuff after people are long dead and gone, or they're never getting out of prison. These people have, Meech got a release date. T is actually out on the streets. You know what I'm saying? And this man got, the little Meech, he's playing his dad. This has never been done. This is groundbreaking. This is history. This has never been done before. So long story short, how it impacted everything, it put everything in the hyperdrive for me. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like I've been loosely affiliated for a long time. But this I got some phone calls and people I thought, and that's what I was gonna say too to the people who are coming up, man. A lot of people give up before they actually make it to get their flowers or get their recognition for the work they put in.
Facts.
But the thing is though, when you're putting in work, you don't put in work to get recognition right then, because that's not what it's about. There was people that was watching my work, such as yourself, that I didn't even know was watching. You know what I'm saying? And so if I would have just, how many times I'm like, damn, man, I don't know, but it ain't going to where I needed to go. But I know this was my drive, this is my love, so I kept doing it. But should I have stopped, I would have been missing a blessing, because at the end of the day, you really don't know who's paying attention. So yeah, so that's what this BMF series has done. It's put a lot of spotlight on my brothers, Blade Brown, Big Freeze Gambino. Shout out to the original OG, Big Dave, original BMF, Big Dave. It's just been a blessing, man, because it's allowed me to link up with not just the family, but the act, because it's like a revival of the movement. It's a reunion, it's a revival, because you got actors who are part of the show that they're embracing the culture, because it's a culture. BMF is a club.
Trust
me. It's not just a thing you say or a shirt you wear or a hat you put on. It's a lifestyle. Movement. It's a whole way of living, and this has really brought it back, because some of these kids are too young to remember any of that stuff from before.
Oh, true.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's getting to reenact it. People are getting to understand the reason why it was going on with the show. and so on and so forth. So like it's just been a big blessing, man. It put a lot of spotlight. But anytime you get spotlight, that also put the spotlight on the good stuff and the bad stuff.
Facts.
It put a spotlight on the fruit that we was bearing from the trees, from the seeds we planted, and it also put a spotlight on the weeds that was growing next to the tares. You know what I'm saying? The tares next to the wheat. You know what I'm saying? So we really had to and that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just grateful that I was able to be called upon, to have my number called upon, to even want to be a part of it. I didn't know that certain people were paying attention that close. You know what I'm saying? And really, ended up being a big blessing for me. And it's just getting started. We really ain't even started the tour yet.
Facts.
We just, you know what I'm saying? It's really just getting warmed up. So anybody who want to book and bring the greatest show on earth to your town, your city, or your club, hey man, tap in, man, because right now, the price is only gonna go up.
Oh, trust me, like I've been a fan, and I've spun a lot of the members' music for years. Even some of me just like still to this day I'll play Meech. Like I have a lot of the stuff that he released last year and some of the things. A lot of people don't understand that, like, that's real hip-hop. That's the real music scene. They did a whole different stuff. Because if you were into gangster music and gangster hip-hop and you like that street life and all that stuff, yeah, that the trap stuff is only one side of it. And then you don't listen to the real trap. You see, that's what I mean, is like a lot of the trap that's out right now is pop trap. Like everything always ended up having a pop version of itself.
No,
you know what I mean? And that's why as DJ, and as long as I've been in this game, I've been in this game for 35, going on 35 years. People don't understand that I've watched music change from NWA, from like Grandmaster Flash and that, everything to like when Ha came out with Juvenile. Like people didn't even know how to take that.
Oh man,
stuff
I remember that record, man. That shit changed the world, bro.
You know what I mean?
They were like, he ain't even rapping. You got those big body bands.
And then when Jay-Z jumped on it, it was just like, okay, like, yo, like, and back then, that's when you knew you were getting credibility for something, because when a heavy hitter turned around and saw you jumping on a new track, and then they wanted to go bring it out. And that's how I feel like 50's doing with the TV shows and everything and all the stuff that's going on with the game. And, I appreciate it because that culture needs it right now. You know what I mean? Like there's no shows like New York Undercover or like all that stuff that we used to watch back in the days that showed some sides of the street, like, The Wire and stuff. Like since then, that shit died out. Wire changed the game for a lot of people.
It did. And what I mean? I didn't really watch it, but it did change the game for a lot of people. I remember hearing about it because I did a prison bid. I was locked up from 2012 to 2017. So when I got out in 2017, while I was locked up, like that's what people talked about was the Wire, and then it was Empire. Mm-hmm. Empire was a major culture shift, and then it was Power.
Yeah,
and then it was the book 4, Power, book 2 or whatever book it was,
the
and
Ghost.
then now you and now you got BMF, which is like the culmination of all of that shit together in a real story.
Even the Raising Cane's that he's doing, like when I started to watch that, I started to have flashbacks growing up. Like certain things, I'm just like, whoa.
It's the authenticity. If 50 brings a certain authenticity to whatever he touches, man, I got to give it to him.
Well, being from Canada, and I was like, I've had the opportunity of being out in New York and Brooklyn and Harlem and Philly and Chicago and Buffalo and certain places and get to see certain things, like, being in Harlem and all that stuff around Labor Day weekend. That's a wild party in itself.
Oh my
like,
God.
People don't even know. It's just like, and a lot of people speak hip hop and speak the music game and say all this stuff, but they never been to certain places. Like I've never been to Atlanta, but I could tell you a shitload of things about Atlanta because I've been fucking with people from Atlanta for years. Like if you don't go and get that culture from it and that knowledge from the game, how are you going to understand what you're listening to even? Like,
you're not going to understand it.
And how are you going to compare music? Like people can't compare certain artists to certain things because the whole South is a whole thing in itself. You know what I mean? And then you got New York and the Bronx, like everybody's got their own style of hip hop. Like there's involvement of like, there's the street hip hop, there's the KRS One hip hop, there's, there's all different types of boom bap to crossover rap to like, even putting your blood, sweat, and tears into a song, dog. Like for real. Like, what's up with this?
Yeah, man. Hey, that's a good. That was a good segue. Hey, look, but blood, sweat, and tears gotta go into the music. Otherwise, it's not gonna have that authentic feel to it. You can't fake that. I don't care. You can write. You can have ghostwriters all day long, but if it ain't authentic, you gonna know.
How do you feel about that? Because like I know the authentic rappers, y'all like you write. Like you guys take your time, you write. Most of these other rappers, they go in the studio and it's like, I've been in here for 10 minutes. Who wrote that and send that to you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like most of the times they didn't even spit right. And then people are using the same writers and you're hearing it in their vocals. You know what I mean?
Like, but a lot of things that I've been seeing lately is people not writing at all, just going in there and freestyling, which is if you're really adept at that, if you're dope at that, then that's cool. But some people just going in there and they're just not. I mean, and that's kind of why you get a certain kind of brand of hip hop, you know, where it sounds generic because it's really, it's different. It's not really, I don't want to say it's not hip hop, but it's not thought out.
It's pop.
You know what I'm saying? it's not really, it's not, I don't want to say it's not authentic either because that's who they really are, but it's just, it's not thought out, man. It's not, I don't know what the word is. It's different. And I'm not knocking it because
I know.
I've done it. I have certain songs that I did out of street style. I just like being able to narrate what I'm talking about. I do a lot of double, triple entendres. I do a lot of metaphors, metaphorically speaking, prose, which is straightforward. I do a lot of allegorical talking, you know what I mean? So, and I do that so people will ask, hey, what did you mean by that? Oh, I'm glad you asked.
You see, that's the whole point when I like the intelligent rapper. There's the too intelligent rapper, and then there's like the hood intelligent rapper, where like certain things make sense because we spoke in code. And a lot of people never understood that, right? So I want to get into this.
I had hoes in my clothes, now rich and gon' stay down, and you gon' see more. Got it out the bowl, ain't no pay shows, go hard, and that's all we know. Got it out the flow, remember I was told, dope like that, it ain't no tango. Bass in the arena, slide that, Jada pussy taste like mango. I'm a real right blood, but I'm always cracking sales. Who they fighting for a pill? This chill, I'm finna sign a jail. Fuck your luck, I'm fighting karma. This all blood, sweat and tears. This all blood, sweat and tears. This all blood, sweat and tears.
I came up from broke where they didn't have no hope, and you didn't have no dope, then you out on the road. I had the holes in my shoes, so I had to make moves. Had to start bottom, I paying my dues, and I bring out the bottles, I'm making the move. You live like the model, I'm making the movie, but bitch, you truly got the bottom. People going up like they shooting and shot out my locals, be rolling, they moving, the money, I'm broke, with the fam, who I had this flipping network. Junkie, the first and the third. Hustle, shout out, Miss Mary, people that was selling you in and out. I'm hoping you dig it. New shovel. If I knew a little better, I'd do better. I go with the new sweater. Now I think a little better, I see a little better. Trillion repping them 3 letters. Interior kitted with new leather. Now I'm shooting these movies, don't need a Beretta. I'm trapping, it's even better. I just had to do it, I'm cracking that better. The bottom, while me a bloody life. So cutthroat, I'm living the life. I'm finna be rich, got some rolling right.
I had hoes in my clothes, now rich and gon' stay down, and you gon' see more. Got it out the bowl, ain't no pay shows, go hard, and that's all we know.
You know what I love listening to songs, and then you know when it's gonna break, and you know it's gonna come back. Like you just like if you're a DJ, you know the engineer, you know this shit. Like you can just feel it. Just like when you're gonna do it. like it's just if they don't like you want to hear it, but then you do it, and then it's just like oh shit. It's just like all right. Man, I love that. I just love because a lot of people don't know how to intertwine the aspect of like how a show DJ would do it, with his artists and certain things and incorporate it with your music. Because I always tell guys when they go in the studio, like, yo, do this shit like you're going on stage. Because I don't want to hear the track like you just woke up that morning and decided to go in the studio.
Oh, man. Ooh. That goes back to the art, though, man. I mean, but there's different levels to it, like anything else. You know what I mean? So some people, that's what they do. They're just going in there and they just, I mean, and I'm guilty. I've done it. I've wrote, but you know what's funny about that is, let's talk about the creative process because that's what we're basically building on right now. The creative process for me, what I used to do is I used to write days and long 2 weeks and a day or a week before I go into the studio. But what ended up happening is sometimes I would forget how I was delivering it.
Yeah.
So I can't. Two things happen. One, I decided that okay, I'm gonna come out with a like an alchemical formula for writing. So when I write, I have certain dashes and lines and shines that show me what I'm supposed to be rapping like. You know what I'm saying? And then I also stopped writing so far in advance because it helped me keep remembering how I was gonna do it, and it helped me put more feeling into it. Because all I'm doing when I write, I'm writing about how I felt that particular day. You know what I'm saying? And that's what was on my heart, or I was what. Because, it's funny because I don't, a lot of people say, oh, I wrote this, I wrote that. I really don't take credit for none of that shit. I write, but it don't come from me. It come from the beat or the spiritual realm, the unseen, however you want to say it, ultraviolet light, or however you want to say it. You know what I'm saying? It really don't come from me. It come from somewhere else, and I just interpret it. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear a beat, I'm already hearing what needs to go on that beat.
See, I like that because I'm the same one when it comes to even putting music together, listening to music, vibing out, even like running through the tracks to even how to vibe it through an interview. You know what I mean? Is like most people, when they go into things, it's just like, okay, I'm going to do it this format because this is how people do it. And then I'll just sit there looking at people go, yeah, we just freestyle this shit all the time. Like it's just like, well, I mean, like a DJ will throw the music and I'll throw shit in the laptop and go, okay, all right, I'm gonna go with this, then I'm gonna go with this, and then we'll see where we go from here. You know what I mean? It's got to be
the energy takes.
Yeah, that's just how and a lot of people don't understand the buildup. And
crescendo, you gotta have a crescendo, gotta be a build-up.
And I love having this conversation with you because I get to talk to all different types of people, and different levels of their concept with the music and everything. And when I see this logo on your thing, what's up with this?
Next Level DJs. Shout out to my brother, man, Christopher Robinson, aka Knox Bond. He's the owner and founder of Next Level DJs. I'm the COO of Real Life Music and Next Level DJs. We have about 600 DJs right now. We're one of the bigger coalitions out there. If you Google DJ Coalition, we pop up first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Basically, it's just like it's an international movement of DJs, and we try to keep our DJs active and actively. Because I see a lot of DJ coalitions, and they're DJ part of the DJ coalition, but they're not. They don't do shit together. They don't really follow no regimen. They just sign on to say that, oh yeah, I'm a part of core DJs. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm a part of, no offense, Nerve DJ. I love Nerve DJs, but every Nerve DJ is not on no type of program. They just use that to get where they want to go. Yeah, so it's cool.
Nerd DJ. I'm a nerd DJ for years, and I understand. And I'm like affiliate to a lot of different other coalitions, and I've left a lot of coalitions because like I never saw the way the movement was going. Because I'd like to make myself like a bridge between things because there ain't no coalitions out here, and and if I want to work with, there's a few in certain places, but like I don't fuck with them. No disrespect on all the different levels, but I've worked with coast to coast nerd DJs and certain things, and they've come through here. We've done things, and we started. And there's some people who never take those the opportunities that coalitions like you guys would offer to do events, to do things to help bridge and push out music, because everybody's got their own different concepts of music. There's a lot of DJs who are a part of different coalitions, and it's just like a hub to spread music. But if you're not taking this serious and you're just using it just for a name, that's where you're losing out in the game. And that's why I don't respect a lot of that. And I take the people that I mess with seriously because they all treat, and I got a different platform to, show what we got to do with music. And this is why I don't understand why a lot of people have coalitions that don't do nothing for nobody.
Man, listen, we have conference calls every week. I'm not always on them, but they go on. We have celebrities come on. We intertwine with other active DJ coalitions and get them involved with what we have going on. And it's just, if you want to be a part of a family, man, I suggest any DJ that really wants to be a part of something that's really moving, actually doing shit, is active, and Next Level DJ Coalition, man, definitely is something you might want to check out.
Hey, man, I like that. I respect that because, when I see that, because there's a lot of coalitions out there, and I'm just glad that I could actually have this conversation with you, because what makes a coalition? Like, a team, a movement?
I feel like what makes a movement is first of all, you have to have a strong structure. You know what I'm saying? A movement cannot move without its head. And the structure of that is that what defines the direction, or if they have a direction at all, when you're talking about a coalition. Now, past that, I feel like what makes a coalition is having common goals. Everybody wants to be successful, but let's be specific. What do you want to be successful in? DJing, right? Okay, so in order to do that, we have to use the power and numbers that we have, and we should all decide, hey, we're going to push this. We're going to make this our number one priority record. We actually have a list of priorities that we come out with every week or 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes on. And that tells you, listen, if you don't spend nothing else, spend these records. You know what I'm saying? And that, to me, that's a show of unity. Another thing that makes up a coalition is everybody having what they call a graphic or a flyer, but it's not just a flyer, it's a badge. A badge of honor saying, hey, I'm a part of this. That shows you don't gotta talk. Like, no, listen, this is who I fuck with. All of the logos on there represent people and structures within the structure. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like those things, that's really what makes a coalition, not so much just the random independent DJs doing their own thing. That's just a group of DJs doing their own thing.
Well, see, that's what I feel with a lot of things, is because when I do a lot of what I do with myself is that these things end up on everybody's networks after. And that's the thing that I never understood about guys not bridging the gaps with stuff. Is like, oh, I got to hate on this and that. No, there's certain people I won't mess with because I've seen shit. I've seen shady shit. I've seen stupid shit. I've seen started coalitions with people, walked away. And, I've helped build radio stations and movements with people for them to say you never did nothing. Like, it's the game, right? You win some, you lose some. But in my part of the game is I never lose because I'm in Canada. I'm having fun with this. And if I don't fucks with you and you try to come out here, I am gonna fucks with you. Just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna start a beef with nothing, but I will throw a party where you throwing something at, because hey, yo, I built a bridge for you to come out here. So if you want to cross me, that's just a different aspect. And I notice a lot of people that they spend too much time trying to cross the people that are helping them and that are good and working with them. And I never understood that. Why once we get to a certain bridge, next thing you know, you and I are on a show together and you're just like, I did all this. And it's like, oh, all right. Okay, cool. All right.
It happens all the time, man.
Every day. And it just gives you a headache because there's sometimes you just want to work with people and you try to find the right people to have a home with. Like, there's certain people I hang with now that just call me every day and it's just like, yo, there's a new business offer on the table. I'm sending you paper today. I'm like, oh, shit. Right. Thank you.
That's dope. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a great respect, right? And then that's when you become a boss and you get into your own business aspect, where you just become a partnership in businesses instead of just being a lackey hanging around trying to take the benefits from the crew and not do nothing.
I don't want to ever. I think that because of my dad, he kind of ingrained in me that the artist is the last person to get paid. So I don't ever want to just be somebody's artist. You know what I'm saying? And I was taught that my whole life, but I'm gonna tell you what really opened my eyes to that was going to Atlanta, because I used to live in Atlanta. Me and Celebrity DJ YG, Celebrity DJ YG, we have a joint venture called Celebrity Status Records, and he's based out of Miami right now, but we were based out of Atlanta at the time, a couple years back. And in Atlanta, everybody does music, but you wouldn't know who does music though, because they don't talk about it.
Right.
So you can't say, what do you do? When somebody asks you what you do, you can't say, oh yeah, I do music. They don't want to hear that. Oh, I'm an artist. Oh yeah, okay, but what else you do? That's the conversation. Like, what else do you do? So what value? Because as an artist, you're more of a liability than an asset. Just being 100.
I
So
try to
what
tell
for real? And so what? But what else are you bringing to the table? Like what else? What else are you as a human being, as a person, as a god or a goddess? What are you bringing to the table?
so as I see right now, I see you bringing some stuff here to the table. This clothing line up here.
Oh, for
Let's
sure.
talk about
Man, it's Born Famous, man. Shout out to Mary Levinson, man. Born Famous is a high quality brand of active wear. Um, I support that brand. I don't own it, but I am an official ambassador of that brand. You know what I'm saying? If you go to my Instagram at TRILL386, that's TRILLWILL 386 on Instagram. There's a link in the bio, and it'll take you right to that where you can buy that clothing. And really, what it is, man, is really just I met Mary through my other brother, Derek Johnson, the CEO of Savage Life Entertainment and Top Yellow Management, which happens to be Lil Webby's brother. And they were pushing the brand, and and she just seen me and was like, hey, what's up? What you want to do? I was like, shit, no pressure. Let's do it.
I like that
Full
because
court press.
like that's what I meant. Like, back in the days, that was what people did. Like, it's like your homeboy had a clothing store, and you just like you walk in there and he's like, yo, wear this tonight and tell people where you got it from. And a lot of people lost that respect of that, of how powerful artists could be and the right artists and people could be, because we were always influencers. Like from day one, from the shoes we wore to go on stage to everything that we ever done in the game, like putting on stuff, like videos were influencing our people for years before all this YouTube and everything else and all that. Like people were dying for that, like to watch BET in the basement to see what Tigger was wearing. Well,
Hey, you ain't lying. Like this shirt right here, this sweater, this a V-Long sweater. Listen, before I went to prison, nobody ever heard of V-Long, bro. When I came home from prison, I seen that shit in a couple of videos. I was like, man, what that is? What he wearing, bro? V-Long, what's V-Long? Bro, I'm telling you, if you pay attention, anything new that comes out, they push it through hip hop, especially technology.
Right, and that's what
Phones,
I was trying to
cars, anything like that, clothes.
Oh shit, from videos. Like, next thing you know, you see the new cell phone in the videos. Like, what's that? I remember the first time I saw the Sky Pager. I was just like, whoa. I got to get that. Like, I called my cousin in the States and said, send me one right now. Like, it was like, and that was the difference, because being in Canada, once it popped off out there, you knew somebody who knew somebody could get that shit for you in a second.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just that you just have to find the phone plan for it.
Exactly.
Oh man, I love having this conversation with you because I like the style. I like the way you carry yourself and everything. Like, that the hoodies and everything, that's my type of shit. And when I see all that, like I'd rather be in a hoodie than most of the time, either in a sweatsuit or pair like jeans or some shit, like when you're comfortable, because a lot of people don't like when you on stage, that comfortableness when you just like everything
that makes a difference.
It makes a lot of difference. I was like, because when I was younger, I like when I saw Juice. And then it's just that whole concept is just like walking in with a hoodie and be mysteriously walking into the room. And ever since then, that's just like all I ever did.
Right, exactly.
And then, but sometimes in the music game, people spend too much money and end up bankrupt.
Yeah, no, hey man, I done caught listen, I got 3 closets full of shoes, Jordans, Nikes, Pradas, fucking Versace's. Like I got like 2. I really would take y'all on to go see it, but my room a little crazy right now.
That's all good.
But man, look, it's crazy. It's real crazy right now. So
I know
hats. I got about 60 hats, bro. 60, 70 hats. A lot of them I don't even wear.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't you find yourself save 5 hats and that's it?
It's the truth though. It's the truth. Like, a lot of times you won't even see me wear the same thing twice. I'm not saying that's good, but it's just I have a lot of shit. And but when I do, it's because you do see me, it's either cheap or I really, really like it.
Yeah. Well, my cousin comes here, he's just like, he will be like, yo, what are you doing with all these sneakers? I'm like, dude, every sneaker's got a story. Every sneaker's been on a show. You know, my kids, I had a kid, I was at the hospital and each one of those sneakers, like they're like, what?
Oh man.
You know what I mean? I got 6.
Oh, I got 6 too. I got three biological and 3 that are I had on my bonus children.
Well, but, I talked about the extra, like the other ones I claimed because I love them.
Right. Oh man, I got so many. I got
so many. Like, you know, I got a big heart and I just love like respect. Even like my kids got siblings and I got mad love that I treat them like my own. And now my kids are having kids, so it's like I got 5 girls and a boy.
Ooh, now I got three. I got 3 girls and 3 boys.
Oh man, my boy came out of luck. I don't even know. One day my daughter just looked at me and said, "Dad, I want a brother for Christmas." And her mother just turned around and just like, we weren't even together. Like, just, I don't even know what happened. Just one day she popped up. She's like, "I'm pregnant." And then I was just like, when literally that happened from us. Like, you know, it was like we messed around one time, kid brought up the thing. And I was just like, I was so happy because it was just like, I love my daughters to death. But actually having a son come in after all that.
It's different. It's like, different. It's something different about that.
I didn't even like the kid. My daughter was so confident about it. I was just like, stop, you're going to jinx it. Because I used to be like that. And then when he came out, I was just like, shit. And I went and bought him his first pair of sneakers right away. Like he couldn't even wear them yet. I bought him like a size 3 pair of like Spider-Man sneakers. Like they were a limited edition sitting in the glass case at the store. And I just told the homeboy, I'm going to buy it one day. He's like, yeah. And I walked in. I'm like, I want them right now. You know what I'm just saying? No, but oh man, that kid had about 30 pairs of sneakers before he was even like 5.
He wasn't even walking good. Yeah, nigga had
like that's like the dad thing that, you know, like the game goes into that, right? Like, you know,
oh yeah, my son got quite a few pairs of shoes too.
They follow your suit, right? They follow everything you do. And I love that, man. So back to being bankrupt and stuff. So it's like, you know, like tell the people that, man, like sometimes you can't spend too much and it can get you in trouble.
So let me tell you the story behind that shit, right? I already know where you're going. That's the beautiful segue. So I came home from prison after doing 5 years in prison, bro. Right? I had $700 to my name. I wouldn't even have had that. But some kind of way, the state gave me some of the money that they took back from me. They paid they paid whatever fees that I had, and then they sent me the rest of the money. And so that's what I had left was $700 in my name when I walked out of the prison door. And I don't know, I ain't had nothing. I had no place to stay, no shoes, no clothes. I thinking I had that shit was gone. You know, my ex who was supposed to be riding with me, she disappeared, all that shit. You know how that shit go. You know what I'm saying? So I had $700. I had to buy everything all over again, shoes, and I had to buy a cell phone. That's a good $200, $300, $400 right there. You know what I'm saying? So basically, when I got out of prison, I was broke. So I got a song called Bankrupt, and what I'm talking about on there is basically how I had to get it from zero because I didn't have shit. And I talk about the story on the second verse. I don't know if we're gonna play the second verse, but I talk about how my partner CZ, Chris, he sent me a plane ticket. You know what I'm saying? It flew me up to St. Louis. The co-founder of the co-CEO of the co-owner of Full Circle Music Group, which is another company that I co-own. And he sent me a plane ticket. He flew me up to St. Louis, East St. Louis, and we shot like 3 videos. You know what I'm saying? And after that, and that was the first. I had been home like 2 months, 3 months, not even 3 months. I think like 2 months at that time, like a month and a half or some shit. And he flew me out there, and then he said, "This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna shoot some videos, and I'm gonna put you. I already have the website set up for you. We'll create your logo. We're gonna. Yeah. He said we're gonna get you running. Gonna get you running, and it just was something about when I was able to give people that I'm telling them my story. Yeah, I just got out of prison. But they're like, okay, so where can I find your music at? And I give them my website and my EPK. They treated me different. Like they were like, he's got, and it looked like they were like, oh, okay, so you really, I'm like, yeah. You know, so that meant a lot to me. So I talked about that. I talked about me and my old lady on there. It's deep, man. R.I.P. my homie Big C, and shout out to my cousin Lou and shit.
If you ain't talking money, then it's time to go. Phantom of the opera, you can rock those. Summertime, gotta see you grind the most. Nigga think a lot
when he bankrupt.
nigga on the block when he bankrupt. You ain't talking money, then it's time to go. Phantom of the opera, you can rock those. Summertime, gotta see you grind the most. This for the robbers and the scammers, cause we gotta eat. When you gotta make it
happen.
when your grass is looking green up across the street. Grab the quarter, let it the powder. Skirting like a motor, run the track meet. Walk on the moon, Jack, drown in the can't come up off of nothing, nigga, sit down. Truly gone, president, no miscount. This documented came from nothing, built it from the ground. Me and my team on the throne, this split crown. Shout out to shit, shout out to Lou when I was getting down. They was riding, ain't no doubt, and they was getting down. R.I.P. Big C, hold them niggas drown. And if the pressure bust pipes, I'ma bust it. Cause I'm the pressure, even if they thought I wasn't. If you ain't talking money, then it's time to go. Phantom of the opera, you can ride a ghost. Summertime, gotta see you grind the most. Nigga think a lot when he bankrupt. A nigga on the block when he bankrupt. You ain't talking money, then it's time to go. Phantom of the opera, you can ride a ghost. Summertime, gotta see you grind the most. When I ran out of options, ran into the money. Counted all the profit back to the money. Put a hold on women, slept with the money. Now the bank OG, now the women coming. August 17, had nowhere to sleep. Plate was looking empty, had nowhere to eat. Chris bought a plane ticket, finna eat. Finna shoot a video this week. Put it on the site and book me for the show. I've been right ever since iron in the gold. Wasn't messing with me, then you dead in the road. I don't need your money, you can keep all them hoes. My ex showed me out, had to hit the road. Then I met her with my wife and then she got me right. She put it in my life and gave me feeling right. Bet she super thick, eating beans and rice. If you ain't talking money, then it's time to go. Phantom of the opera, you can ride a ghost. Summertime, gotta see you grind the most. Nigga think a lot when he bank, when he bank, when he bank, when he bank, when he bank.
For real, for real, for real. I understand you 100 on that. You know, like people don't understand when you go through situations like that, like even like recovering from shit, like, you know, street life bullshit, and you just hit rock bottom, and then just out of the blue, one thing could just pop off for you, and just everything just change, you know, and you just don't look back. You know what I mean?
I couldn't look back, bro. I didn't have an option, bro. Like all my bridges on the street life, when I did them, I don't know if you know, but when you leave the streets for longer than 6 months, that shit changed, bro. So when I came home after being gone for 5 years, it was in like a different world. And at that point, I had to make even though I had made up my mind before I came home, but at that point, I had to make a real life on the spot decision. When I remember being homeless and for like a week, and nowhere to go, 2017. That's what I'm talking about in that song. And more people reached out to me. Hey, bro, I got a pack for you. I'll front it to you, man. I know you can get. I know you can. I'm like, damn, what you trying to send me back to prison, bro? Like, damn, you know, I just came home. Like, I appreciate it, but damn, dog, I just went for RICO, racketeering, influence corrupt organizations. Like, come on, bro, you trying to send me back, bro? Come on, man, I'm cool, bro. I had to make my mind up that that's what it wasn't. But once I made that conscious decision, that I was never going that lane. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Right. I still rap about it because I lived that. But I don't condone it because I know where that got me, and it didn't work for me. I can only talk about me. If you're doing something that's working for you and you don't have any other options and it's working for you, do your thing. But it just wasn't working for me. I had to look myself in the mirror, like, you know, Michael Jackson got that song, Man in the Mirror. I had to look at the man in the mirror and say, damn, did that get me where I wanted to go? Because if it didn't, then I need to change everything I'm doing and go back to square one and do everything different. And I decided that wasn't going to prison and losing everything, and that wasn't where I wanted to go. So I had to make a choice, bro. I had to make a choice.
Yo, I agree with you 100 because this is why I got into these reasons of doing these networks and doing these like talks and getting in with Triple P and all these different people and stuff. And like, if I didn't build myself
shout out Sarah, Mimi, man, too, man. Looking us up, man. Triple P Radio in the building, for sure.
from getting to know guys like you is if I never got a chance to get these opportunities and then show guys there's more people out there that is doing things in the industry, and then like people don't get to understand that there's other guys that are struggling in the game. Like a lot of people are not understanding that not all of you were on the same level as Jay-Z and them and everything out there, and like all the little the babies and all the little stuff, even though a lot of y'all got the money and the glitz to do all that stuff and the music and everything, y'all still starting. And that's what a lot of people are not getting. Like, because there's a lot of artists out there that, they have all that jewelry, they have all that stuff, but just they paid that money just to get there. You know what I mean? And a lot of people crawl to get there. You know what?
Sacrifice just to live that life, man. It's a sacrifice. That's why I honestly, like, I love new artists. You know what I'm saying? But I love new artists. Yeah, it's alkaline water, by the way. But I love new artists. But I have a conversation with them. Is this a hobby, or is this what you really love to do? Because you gotta love music more than you love the air you breathe. You gotta want music more than the food that you need to eat. You've been hungry for 3 days. You gotta want it that much. You gotta love it that much. Because if not, this shit will swallow you whole. You may eat a couple things. You may make a couple dollars. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. If this ain't really what you want, bro, you might want to reconsider.
I ain't really gotta say anything after that, because for real, I've been telling people that all week. And it's like every single time I turn the game, I go, you guys don't understand anything that has to do with the music industry, because what's the importance of being yourself and having your own businesses and having because you wear a lot of hats and a lot of things. Has anybody ever told you you've done too much or you're doing too much?
I have had people say, "Oh, you're spreading yourself too thin," and I don't really agree with them. I really don't agree with them, because I feel like as opposed to juggling one thing or two things, and I know I can juggle two things real easy, because it's easy to juggle two things. But if I can juggle fucking 30 things and I might drop one or two, but I got 28 things still going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not depending on no one source of income. I'm not depending on one relationship to get me where I need to go. I'm not depending on one angle of the game to be able to get me where I want to go. I'm dependent on myself, and I'm dependent on my team, and I'm dependent on the Most High that's within me to open up doors, and just know that that's what it's going to be. I'm not dependent on no one thing, but I'm not going to do that, because I've seen myself get let down. I've seen other people get let down. And at the end of the day, if you got as many kids and responsibilities and stuff, and people who count on you as I do, you really can't afford to, because they don't want to hear, kids don't understand. Yeah, well, it's slow with the shows this month. You're gonna have to go see your grandma, and she'll get you some clothes and stuff. Or you're gonna have to go live with your mom for a little while. And I can't get you nothing, even though I don't celebrate Christmas, but I can't get you nothing for Christmas because the music's not selling the same. They don't want people listen. Kids don't understand that. They have no understanding for that. So therefore, that shit there is like, I can't depend on that. But the music game and business was not. The music business is a music industry and a music business. The music business was not designed for you to live off of just music alone. It was designed to put you in a position for you to franchise and create a brand for yourself. And once you create a brand for yourself, being able to find other things that can align and run adjacent to your brand with you, and that be a part of your brand through you, like that's and make money off of that, because that's really at the end of the day, that's what it's about. I always use Jay-Z as an example, because Jay didn't make the majority of his money from music. He made the majority of his money from other ventures outside of music, but because he has established such a strong brand with the music, everything else was successful because he built his foundation and had a successful brand. And people say, oh, well, what's a brand? I've had this conversation. man, brand sound good, but I don't. What's a brand? So I tell people this is what a brand is. A brand is what people say and think of you when you're not there physically. When they see what you're doing and when they see your logo or they hear what you're doing or they hear this and hear that, what they say and think about you when you're not there, that's your brand.
I've been telling people that over and over and over. When you're presenting too many things to people, I try to tell them that, see how you're a brand, but you have a branch of things underneath you. And that's what the people don't take from being yourself as a brand, because they don't understand that brands do have other people who help make that brand successful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, you know, it's like, what do you have to say to the game right now? People like who want to get into this business right now?
I would say save your money and be able to fund your own project. Because when you come into the game and like everybody wants the mythical record deal, oh, I want to get signed. What you're doing is you're putting yourself as a handicap. Because basically, and essentially, what you're saying is, I'm unable to get where I want to go on my own funding, so I need a loan from y'all, whatever said label, to get me where I need to go and to do all the footwork and all the work. That's what you're basically saying, essentially. So that's not saying that that's always a bad thing, because you know, major labels do have a place. You can have JV deals, joint venture deals, you know what I'm saying, or distribution, which will allow you to get places that you might not have been able to go. But where is the money coming from to make that happen? If they're paying for it, best believe you're paying for it plus interest.
Oh yeah.
And best believe that not only that, but during the process of them waiting on you to pay them back plus interest, you are subject to their rule and what they would like to do. It's the equivalent of living in your parents' house. When I was growing up, my parents used to say, "You're not doing with that under my rule, whether I like it or not." Even if I might say, "Well, fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway," but at the end of the day, it's their house.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take that money or you allow funding to come from a major label, you're living in their house essentially. Mm-hmm. And they have the right to put you on the shelf or to ground you or to, you know, to take away your privileges. You know what I'm saying? So I would advise somebody looking to get in to try to find a way to create your own budget for your projects. And then you have what's the big L word in the boardroom is called leverage. Then you have leverage and build your fan base up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's also leverage.
You're going to learn today.
I've been trying to tell people that, and I'm glad that you got to put it out there, because that's the importance of becoming a successful person in the industry now, because the label route, it's good for some people. Once you get to a certain point, you don't want to handle it no more. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like Mac Miller and certain different people in the game that's done that. They were selling out and doing so much things before they even decided to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And labels came to them for years, and people don't understand that once you become a persona in the game, then yeah, you have play, you have a card. But if you just jumping in there and you just like, all right, I want to be this fit, and just like, give me this. And then you take all that money, you go buy the jewelry, you go do all the stupidness. Like every time I see these guys get advanced, the first thing I see them is in a jewelry store. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
hey, you want to look the part, that's cool. But sometimes if you do the work, there's people who have jewelry stores that will sponsor you because they want you to wear their shit.
And listen, if you build it, what I learned is nobody wants to help somebody that needs help. If you running out and you spend all your money on whatever you spent it on, and then later on you need help, people are not fuck. But if you take that money, because really a lot of people don't understand the nature of what an advance is for, right? So the nature of what an advance is for is for you to drastically change your lifestyle, for you to change your lifestyle to the point to where it was a noticeable difference from before and after. Now that doesn't necessarily mean go buy new clothes and shit, even though it's okay to make yourself look nice and buy a piece here and there, nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But there's a line where it's too far. So what you have to decide is this too far? Is this too far? Am I going too far? Am I not within the realm of reality? Because you know how much money they gave you, but really, what I mean by improve your quality of your life, I really mean improve your brand. So you really should take that money and get yourself in more publications, get yourself in higher rooms as far as playlisting, as far as features. You want to get you a feature. This is the stuff that you're supposed to use that money for. You know what I'm saying? To hire your team, get you a publicist like Triple P Radio. You know what I'm saying? Get you a dope DJ like DJ Disspare, who's gonna really push you without having to egg them on. You know, like that's what you got to do. You got to surround yourself with people who are really going to go hard for the brand, not just because they're cool with you, but because you're able to pay them. Some people have a problem; they want stuff for free, and that's not how this world works. You have to pay people, bro. And I'd rather pay somebody their value. You can't tell another man what their value is. So that's why it's better to just, when you get in advance, if you get in advance, use that money to put yourself in a better position, put your brand in a better position, not just you personally. Make a separation between you and your brand. Personally, you want new clothes and new shoes, but what does your brand need? Your brand needs more publications. Your brand needs more radio play in certain areas. Your brand needs a certain look on a professional level, not just how you look in the mirror.
Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Gee, man, I'm gonna be here all day. I want to shout out. Man, that's too many shout outs. I want to give a shout out to CZ, man, Full Circle Music Group. Shout out to Celebrity DJ YG, Celebrity Status Records. I want to give a shout out to Christopher Robinson, aka Knox Bond, Real Life Music, Next Level DJ Coalition, Black Executive Triad, which is another one of my conglomerate entities that work together with Real Life Music and Next Level DJs. I want to give a big shout out to original BMF OG Big Dave, Free Big Dave. He's about to come home next month. Big major move. Shout out to Big Freeze Gambino. Shout out to DJ. Shout out to Blade Brown BMF. Shout out to my brother Calico Jones. Man, shit, you already know what it is, cuz. You know what I'm saying? 20 shit. Shout out to the whole Eastside Rolling 20s. Shout out to the whole D-Land. Shout out to Swaz. Shout out to Maurice Stars. Shout out to Mooks. Shout out to everybody that supported me on my journey along the way. Shout out to, I know I'm forgetting people. Shout out to Yaka. Shout out to White the Plug, who make my fire ass beats, and he does an artist as well. Shout out to DJ Star, which is Big Meech's nephew. You know what I'm saying? Who's the DJ on my last project, GFM. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I shout out to everybody, man, who's with the movement. Shout out to Claude Timogene, aka C Note. Shout out to Theo Timogene. Shout out to my to Convertible Roof. Shout out to all my Zoes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my Zoes out there. I gotta show love to them, man, because they run Florida. I can't lie.
Bless family. And I'm glad I had you on here, man. And on that note,
we got the fire. Follow the world best DJ Disspare on Twitter, Facebook, and for mixtape hosting and bookings at DJ Disspare